Some law enforcement agencies are looking to the skies and determining that unmanned aircraft systems, UAS, offer solutions to maintaining public safety and processing crime scenes. Standing up a UAS program takes research, planning, and training. Under the right circumstances, the technology can produce great results. The Mesa County Sheriff's Office in Grand Junction, Colorado, uses UASs primarily to assist in crime scene and traffic accident investigations. Ben Miller, Unmanned Aircraft Program Director, says the aircraft's cameras record information and help officers process it. His fixed-wing aircraft and quadcopter are more than cameras. With the help of computer apps that come with the aircraft and the addition of readily available apps like Google Maps, these vehicles provide precise measurements that help officers visually present special information to investigators and prosecutors. Photographing a crime or accident scene with standard equipment on the ground can take hours or even days. A UAS can fly over the same scene and take digital images in 20 to 40 minutes. When Miller is called to a scene, he says the nature of the investigation dictates which aircraft he'll fly. Fixed-wing aircraft require greater launching distance and may require an assisted launch setup, like a bungee cord or catapult. Quad helicopters can take off in smaller spaces. Once Miller selects the appropriate aircraft, here's how he proceeds.
In a nutshell, what it looks like when we show onto a scene. We're basically going to make the notifications that our FAA approval requires us to do. We usually do that en route on the phone. We show up on a scene, we'll tie in with whatever management is there. They'll kind of give us a brief of this is what we've got. We'll assess the area that we'd like to fly. We'll check it for obstructions, whether that's trees, buildings, antennas, stuff like that. We'll develop where we're going to fly, and we're going to make sure that it's safe to do so, etc. We'll pull the vehicle out. We'll do the quick assembly that is required, load the batteries, etc. in a quick pre-flight. Then we take the vehicle off. It goes what we call downrange, flies the mission.
Miller plugs in coordinates on a computer screen, and the aircraft takes off and enters that predetermined perimeter or box. It flies from the nearest point within the box to the farthest point, and then methodically flies back and forth in a pattern photographing everything on the ground. Back at the office, the images are stitched together and three-dimensional images are created.
So we're not just presenting pictures that say this is what it looked like. We're actually presenting maps and models. And in those maps and models, they're geospatially accurate to the real world. That's a fancy way of saying we can measure in those models. And measuring in a geospace tells us a lot of things. Distance is often a significant factor in investigations. Distance tells us plausibility. Could a person actually get from point A to point B as fast as they said they did?
Miller says the Sheriff's Office maintains a digital evidence management system where images are tagged and access is restricted to qualified investigators and their managers. They give remote access to the district attorney's office, and any viewing or downloading of images is logged.
The great thing is that we're collecting digital information, and digital information has its advantages over the old way of doing business, where there's a potential to lose evidence. There's a potential to not totally track when the only time we track stuff is when we write it down. Every time something happens to this information, it's logged, and we keep those logs in perpetuity.